show starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good morning, CaneSport. It's September 1st, 2021. I'm Gary Ferman, the publisher of CaneSport.com, flying solo this morning as we talk about the news of the day. And so much to get to, as always. These days have just become absolutely packed with information, stories. We've been grinding. We had the season debut of CaneSport Live last night. If you missed that, the podcast is on the website this morning. Tonight we'll have the debut of the Lamar Thomas Show, which promises to be epic, knowing Lamar. So just a lot for you guys to listen to, watch, and absorb on the website. So let me talk about a few things. There's a story that I really, really like that we bring out this morning, and that is an analysis of what we have identified as a major weak spot where Miami can attack the Crimson Tide. And, we spent a lot of time looking at the matchups, looking at game tape from last year. And one thing that stood out was that when Alabama played teams with explosive offenses like what Miami hopes to bring, I'm going to use the word hope because, we don't know how they're going to match up with the Alabama athletes. I mean, we know Miami feels really good about its offense. We know that the fan base feels really good about the offense. We know that we feel there are playmakers all over the field for the offense. What we don't know is how they're going to match up against Alabama athletes. And Alabama has elite-level athletes across the board. But like I said, there were a couple things that stood out when we watched the tape, and that was that they had trouble with athletic teams also that had creative schemes and were able to isolate some of their players that might not be as proficient in pass coverage as they are in run defense and things like that. They used formations to get Alabama in a couple bad situations and were able to hit big plays that allowed them to score a lot of points. And Alabama's offense was unbelievable last year. They were able to win those shootouts. But I'm not sure the Alabama offense is going to be at the same level this year. And Miami's ticket to potentially pulling an upset in this game is being able to engage in that shootout successfully. And to do that, Rhett Lashley is going to have to be able to dial it up. He's going to have to be able to isolate guys like Jalen Knighton, Don Chaney, Cam Harris in good situations, even Will Mallory, with the Alabama linebackers. Because the one thing that we noticed about these guys, and we looked back at Tutu's film when he played at Tennessee last year, Henry Tutu, who's the transfer linebacker at Alabama, he had the same issues that Christian Harris had in an Alabama uniform last year. And these guys were not great in pass coverage. Now, they might be improved. I'm sure that Nick Saban and his staff have worked very hard with these guys on that, identifying the same weakness that we did. I mean, if we're watching the film and we're seeing what we think is a weakness, I can assure you, stable of analysts that they have up there in Tuscaloosa, that they identified the same thing. And I'm sure they've been working on hard in the off season, and we'll see how they show up on Saturday. But I'm sure when Rhett Lashley was watching all this game tape himself that he noticed the same thing we noticed. And I'm looking for Miami to try to get some favorable matchups with its weapons out of the backfield and a tight end against Alabama. We'll see how that plays out. So that's a really good story. You'll like that one. We also take a little deeper look at Alabama personnel in another story this morning. We've got interviews with Amari Carter, Bubba Bolden, and De'Ara King on the website this morning. Later today, Manny Diaz will be speaking. At some point, we'll have more interviews with Will Mallory, Corey Flagg, and Zach McLeod. Later Wednesday going into Thursday, we'll see how the load goes on that and getting those out to you. So just a lot of content. A couple other things I want to talk about. There's a couple big basketball commit announcements today by kids that Miami's been recruiting. The first is Malik Renault, who's from Dade County. a guy that Miami has put incredible effort into for so many years. Unfortunately, my sources are telling me that he is going to commit to Florida, and that undoubtedly will be a huge disappointment to Jim Larrañaga. They put an incredible amount of effort into that one. But I'm also hearing that Miami will get a commitment tomorrow from a young man by the name of Christian Watson, kid from the D.C. area. He visited last weekend, had a great time. So Christian Watson, I'm expecting to become a Miami basketball commit today. So we'll see how that one goes. All right, so I mentioned the Lamar Thomas show tonight at 8 o'clock, so make sure you tune in for that. So that's going to be Good Morning CaneSport for today. I'll wish everybody a great day, and until next time, I'll say goodbye, everybody.